Progtime, the Layered Reality YouTube show.
Hello friends, welcome back to Progtime, the very first episode of 2025. We are back after the amazing, electrifying, ultra incredible Christmas episode that we did last year. We hope you guys enjoyed that special thing. It's probably going to be a bit of a tradition to do something different at the end of the year, but it's January, it's 2025, it's time to get back to business as usual. So here is the Layered Reality news. First, we're going to start with 7 Station. The gentlemen from Israel, Slovenia, and Turkey are going to be releasing a brand new EP called On Shoulders of Giants, which is coming out on the 21st of February, 2025. And they've already released 2 really killer videos for this, which you can check out on YouTube right now. The channel you're watching this on has those videos. Oh my god, so much musical awesomeness on one channel. We cannot contain ourselves. But seriously though, we want you to check out those videos if you haven't already, because these guys work really, really hard on it. And of course, if you want to pre-order the EP right now, because you can already pre-order it, you know, just a hint, you can get it through the Layered Reality web store and Bandcamp, etc., etc. Would be really appreciated if you did. And then next up, we're going to Romania for Hteththemeth, the band with the unpronounceable band name, which I'm finally able to pronounce. These guys just released the single of their new album, Burning Desire, and it's going to be on the album Telluric in Harmonies, which is coming out, and I got to check here on my cheat sheet real quick, on the 4th of April 2025. It's going to be released through Layered Reality Productions. Now, for those of you who've been paying attention to Hteththemeth for longer, you might know that they've already released some of the new songs in the live concert that we premiered right here on this YouTube channel. You can still watch that. It's available for free, just for your eye and earballs. And also, they've already released a few music videos years ago for the songs on this record. And honestly, I cannot wait to get this album out through Layered Reality Productions. We're all very excited about it. It's a really, really good record. So the moment it comes out, yeah, you'll hear it. But stay tuned for more singles coming up in the coming months. Now, a little shout out to the Scottish friends of Ramage Inc, because they are now on fire. It's ridiculous. Like, okay, not literally. That would be incredibly painful. They have a lot of really, really cool shows lined up in the UK, and obviously if you can see them live, go do it. Check out the Ramage Inc profiles to see the exact dates, and more dates are going to be announced as it progresses. And of course, in an ideal situation, I would love to maybe get them on stage in the Netherlands sometimes, preferably maybe with 7 Station and Hteththemeth maybe. Well, we'll see what we can figure out. Maybe, you know, just manifesting this into the universe, who knows? And finally, I want to end this news update with a news nugget that most of you might have seen, but some of you might have missed, and it's a bit of a sad one, but I do want to mention it. The guys in Omnerod made an announcement on the 30th of December that they will not be playing live anymore for the foreseeable future due to multiple band members moving across the border, priorities changing, etc., etc. It's all very understandable, and obviously we support them and we love these guys. I mean, they're freaking incredible. Obviously, sometimes the things you want to do don't work out the way you planned them, and then you just gotta adjust and make it work. We just want to say through this that we're with Omnerod. We love these guys. We can't wait to see new music from them, and we will be releasing new music from Omnerod in the future through Layered Reality Productions. So whatever the hell happens, we got your back, guys. Ooh, ooh, ooh. And that was all the news for this month. We have 3 really cool segments lined up from the usual suspects, James, Lauren, and Rowan, and let's just see what they're going to bring to the table. So Lauren, take it away. Let's go!
Hey everybody, it's Lauren Holly from Layered Reality Productions. It's 2025, it's the month of Mondays, it's January. I'm going to be talking about progressive music, but I'm going to be talking about progressive music that has been used as a soundtrack. Now, there is only one logical jumping off place for me, because this movie is near and dear to my heart, along with the soundtrack, and that would be Ridley Scott's Legend, featuring Tangerine Dream doing the soundtrack. Now, a little bit of background story on Tangerine Dream, if you're not familiar. They have been around since 1967. The main individual is Edgar Frost. There's been various members over the years. They started out more of a krautrock, but then evolved into the progressive electronic act that is around still today. Coming from classical, Mozart, Bach, he's very influenced by different poets, but he's also influenced by people like Jimi Hendrix and Pink Floyd. In modern day progressive music, Steve Wilson from Porcupine Tree has actually cited Tangerine Dream as being an influence for him. So you can already see where this is going. Back to the movie itself. The movie came out in 1985. It's one of those movies that you either love it or you actually hate it. Now, I am in the category of loving it, and I can't understand why people don't like this movie because it is shot fantastically, and I'm sorry, Tim Curry's Darkness, hands down, is the reason why this movie is what it is. The scene that I'm going to talk about, which is where my love of this Tangerine Dream album comes from, is the unicorn theme. The unicorn theme is only a little 2-3 minute little excerpt in the film, but it reduces me to a rubble every time I see it. Now, the unicorn theme centers around the scene of the death of the stallion and the mare. So, Darkness has managed to secure the stallion. He's cut the horn off, which doesn't give him total ability to cover the world in darkness, but it sets him on the path. So, Tom Cruise, his character Jack, stumbles upon the body of the stallion, which is underneath a cherry tree, which is all uplit, and it's so sad. Circling the tree is the mare, and he approaches the mare, even though he knows he's not supposed to do it, but he is rivulets, is it rivulets, is that the word, of tears are running down his face, whilst this music is playing in the background, which to me is the whole reason why this scene works. It's so rooted in sadness. You can feel the mare's sadness at the death of her partner, of her one true love. That is why it's a standout track for me. It reduces me to a puddle of tears every time I listen to it. There are 2 vocal tracks on this soundtrack. One which is Loved by the Sun, which is actually the vocal version of the unicorn theme. It's sung by none other than John Anderson. Now, John Anderson is the lead singer of Yes. So again, another huge progressive rock act being included into this soundtrack. Then you also have the second vocal track, which is Your Love Strong Enough, which is sung by Brian Ferry. Again, Roxy Music, another huge love in my heart. However, featured on guitar in that particular track is none other than Pink Floyd's David Gilmour. So you can definitely see why this is 100% the first album to concentrate on for a progressive soundtrack. Now, if you guys have any comments or any suggestions about movies that have a progressive soundtrack attached to them, obviously drop them in the comments, let me know, give us a like. And as I said, I don't care if you hate this movie. I love this movie. I got this soundtrack bought for me by a friend years ago who found it in a record store in Glasgow, and she mailed it to me in Canada, and I swear to God, my whole universe exploded when this dropped on my doorstep. So, a fantastic album, and I highly suggest you just put it on, listen to it start to finish. But if you do not get drawn in by the unicorn theme and your heart doesn't feel like it's breaking into 1,000 pieces, you have absolutely no soul and don't belong on this planet. That's it from me. Again, any suggestions, drop them below, and we'll see you next time. Bye!
Thank you for watching Progtime. I'm Progfessor Rowan, and this is my laboratory. This time, I'd like to speak about the band Cosmogonia. They're from Athens, Greece, and have just released their second album, Aela, January 4th, 2025. And a band of this quality is not going to stay unsigned for very long. You know, the band itself classifies themselves as a blend of melodic death metal and folk metal. But I think there's more here. There are elements of symphonic metal, there are elements of progressive metal. It's all blended together in a way that truly works. It makes an hour and 2 minute album fly by. It's catchier than any album of any genre has any right to be. Many bands attempt to blend melodic death and folk metal, and it does not usually come out right. But in this case, they have managed to blend the styles in proper proportion to actually succeed. You know, when I first listened to this album, all it took was about half of the first song, The Rise, to tell me that I'm sold on this album, I'm gonna listen to the whole thing. It goes on my database prog sheet. One thing that makes this really stand out is how well the contrast of male, the standard male growly singer, and a female vocalist who can really sing. As any band that should give themselves a folk metal label, there's a full-time flutist. Flute and piccolo are things that just one guy in the band are doing. This album's been out for a week, and I've already listened to it 10 times. That's how good it is. Standout tracks include, and I'm about to list about half the album, they include The Rise, Scheme and Rebirth, The Fate, The Oracle, Wolf's Howl, Elixir, and the rest are, not too shabby either. This is truly an outstanding album, or I'm even more of a sucker for metal with a load of flute, realized already. That's all I got for now. Good night, and enjoy the music.
Hey everybody, how's it going? It's James once again from Lycanthro here on Progtime with my brand new segment, The Story Ain't Over. Insert Avantasia joke here. Now, I wanted to start the new year off fresh with a new segment because I kind of felt like Tokyo Tunes had kind of run its course. There's obviously a different musical subject that I'm deeply as passionate about, and I thought, what could be more disgustingly nerdy than Japanese metal? And then it hit me. Concept albums! I'm a storytelling kind of guy. I feel like metal music, or music in general, is definitely one of the most underlooked ways of storytelling in basically all of media. The concept albums are one of the most unique ways to portray storytelling in media, and also has given us some of the most well thought out and thought-provoking tales of anything, movies, TV, anything like that. Now, the whole point of this new segment is to be talking about concept albums that I feel aren't really talked about as much on the internet and in these certain spaces. Now, I could just go on about my love for Queensryche's Operation Mindcrime, Dream Theater Scenes from a Memory, King Diamond Abigail, all of Aryon's discography until I'm blue in the face, but all those albums have been talked about in greater detail by people who are well more qualified than me to talk about them. So I wanted to shed some light on a few concept albums that have really thought-provoking stories. Obviously, the music is really, really good, so I wanted to give them some love on this show. And I'm gonna start things off with a band that is a very recent but still deep love that I have, and that is Iron Savior. Now, I'm going to be talking about Iron Savior's debut record here on this first episode. Now, this band is full of power metal royalty, helmed by legendary power metal named Pyat Silek. I really hope I didn't butcher that name. Plus, this album features two of the most legendary musicians rounding out its lineup, being Kai Hansen from freaking Halloween and Tomen the Omen Stotch from Blind Guardian, with a special guest appearance by Papa Hansi himself doing guest vocals as well. Now, concerning the story, it is very long and complicated. I'm going to try my best to summarize it as quickly as I can, but basically this story concerns the lost city of Atlantis and their war with a deadly force known only as the Alliance. It takes place during a time of interstellar war, and the Alliance is very much meant to be implied as a united Earth alliance, and they don't really like the fact that Atlantis has independence. Now, Atlantis designs a bioweapon / spaceship that they send to orbit around the Earth, known only as the Iron Savior, in hopes to even the odds in their war with the Alliance. The main incident is that, unfortunately, a traitor amongst the Atlanteans sells out the launch codes for the Iron Savior to the Alliance, and the Alliance take hold of it by destroying one of their colonies. The second half of the album concerns Atlantis sending out a very brave landing force to take back control of the Iron Savior. Their mission is successful, but they decide that they're going to send the Iron Savior out of the solar system so it doesn't fall into the wrong hands once again. So they program it to come back, and I'm not joking with this number, in 350,000 years, because they feel like that is more than enough time for peace to be given amongst all of the colonies in the solar system. In the last song, the Iron Savior, deep into the future, comes back only to find that the war was incredibly one-sided and Atlantis had fallen due to a nuclear strike from the Alliance. And the album ends with the Iron Savior and its artificial brain trying to figure out what to do in this post-Atlantean universe, still remembering its only directive: protect Atlantis and conquer the Alliance. Now, this album is the start of a multi-album epic, and basically this whole story stems between pretty much all of Iron Savior's material. But I very, very highly recommend you go check it out if you like sci-fi, and of course, power metal made by some of the most legendary musicians in the genre. Anyways, thank you very much for joining me for the first segment of this new series. I love you all, and stay metal, my friends.